Hi everyone, Kevin here. Today, we'll learn how to connect your Facebook lead ads campaign to your CRM using Make. That way you can optimize for actual conversions, not just form submissions. That means higher quality leads and better results for your ad spend. As an example, at the Kevin Cookie Company, we don't like leads who just want free cookie samples. We want real businesses, cafes, restaurants, groceries, who actually place wholesale orders with us. That's why we use Facebook lead ads to collect wholesale inquiries. And when a lead comes in, it's automatically saved to our CRM. As our sales team follows up, we track every stage of the sales process, from filling out the interest form, sending a sample, negotiating, and signing the deal. Using Make, each stage update in our CRM gets sent back to Facebook. That way, we can help Facebook learn which leads are more likely to convert, and it gets better at finding more customers like them. In this video, in partnership with Make, we'll learn how to set this up step by step. Let's dive in. First, head over to Facebook Ads Manager. You'll find a link at the bottom of the screen. You'll land on a page that looks like this. If you don't already have a Facebook lead ad campaign, you'll need to set one up. At the top here, I have an existing campaign. If you're starting from scratch, right up on top, simply click on Create and then follow the prompts. You'll need at least 3 things. You'll need a campaign. You also need an ad set, and this groups your different ads together. And then you'll also need at least one ad that contains your lead form. Let's click on Edit right here to take a look at the type of information that I'm collecting on my form. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see that I already have some ads set up, including a headline, text, and images. Most importantly, each of these ads is linked to a lead form. Over here, if we scroll down just a little bit, here you'll see that I have my existing forms. If you don't have one yet, make sure to create one before continuing. Let's click into this one to take a closer look. This page is where you create your lead form. You'll need to fill out key details like the form type. Over here, we also have an introduction section. This is where you let people know what your form is even about. And most important, the questions that you want to ask your leads. Here, as an example, if I scroll down, I'm collecting a few different pieces of information, like the full name, the company name, the email address, and the phone number. Once we collect all of this information from a lead who fills out this form, we're going to send it directly into our CRM. Once you've filled everything out here, go ahead and create your form. Now that we have our form set up, we now need to create what's called a data source. This lets Facebook receive updates directly from our CRM through Make. For example, when a lead requests, let's say, a sample from the Kevin Cookie Company, or maybe they sign a deal, that information gets sent back to Facebook. Now you might be wondering, why is this important? Because it helps Facebook learn which leads are actually converting, not just filling out the form. And over time, Facebook can use that data to optimize your ads for higher quality leads. Over on the left-hand side, let's click into the Event Manager. Within the Event Manager, at the top, let's click on Connect Data. We want to connect our CRM to Facebook, and on this list, there's the option for CRM. Let's click on this, and then down below, let's click on Next. On this next screen, you'll see a high-level overview of the steps we're going to walk through. Now don't worry, we'll go through everything step by step together. At the bottom, you'll also see some important criteria. In general, for this setup to be effective, you'll want to generate at least 200 leads per month. This ensures that Facebook has enough data to properly optimize your campaigns. If everything looks good, let's click on Next. Next, you can create either a new data set or select an existing one. If this is your first time going through, you probably won't have one yet, in which case we'll need to create a new data set. Down below, let's click here. You'll need to give your data set a name. Once you've entered a name, go ahead and click on Create. Here, we need to choose a partner that will feed data into our newly created data source. I'm going to select Make. What's great about Make is that it lets you connect Facebook with just about any CRM. No coding required. You can pull data from Facebook into your CRM and push updates from your CRM back into Facebook to help optimize your campaigns. I'll click on Make, and down below, let's click on Next. If you don't already have a Make account, right here on this page, you can get started for free. I already have an account, so up above, I'll log in and I'll see you on the other side. Once you finish signing into Make, you'll land on this page. Our first goal is to pull lead data from Facebook and send it to our CRM, and we'll use Make to automate that connection. To do that, we need to set up what's called a scenario. A scenario in Make is like a visual workflow. It connects different apps and tells them what to do and also when to do it. On the left-hand sidebar, let's click on Scenarios. Then, in the top right-hand corner, let's click on Create a New Scenario to get started. This drops us into the Scenario Builder. We're going to set up 3 different modules to move your leads from Facebook into your CRM. In the center of the screen, click on this plus icon and then search for Facebook Lead Ads. Right here, I see the option for a new lead. Let's click on this. This module is going to watch for new leads. Whenever someone fills out your form, like let's say requests a cookie sample, this will trigger the scenario. Down below, let's click on Create a Webhook. Over here, you can give your webhook a name. I'll stick with the default. You can also choose your connection, and down below, you can select the page that you would like to connect. I'll connect my page, Kevin Stratvert. And right down below, we also need to select a form. I'll select my form right here that I created in a previous step, and then let's click on Save. I'll leave all these other fields set as is, and down below, let's click on Save. Next, we're going to add a second module. To do that, go right up to the center of the screen and click on this plus icon. And down at the bottom, let's search for the Facebook Conversions API. Right up on top, we want to send an event back to Facebook. Let's click on this. We're going to use the Facebook Conversions API to let Facebook know that we received the lead, and we're going to send this event back to Facebook. It basically confirms that the form was submitted and we've received that information, and we're going to add it to our CRM. Essentially, it helps train Facebook's algorithm over time to find better quality leads. We need to configure some of the information here. Let's click on Add Item. First, we need to set an event ID. Click into the text field and you'll see a list of all of the different available values. Let's go with Lead ID. Every time someone fills out the form, they'll be assigned a unique ID. Next, we need to give the event a name. Now, since this is for a brand new lead, right here on the list, let's select Lead. Then we also need to select an event time. To match the moment the scenario was triggered, press the / and then let's also type in now and select this. For the action source, let's select System Generated. Then let's scroll all the way down the page and you'll see another field for the lead ID. Choose lead ID once again in the value list. This is the unique identifier that both Facebook and your CRM use to stay in sync. So that way they know exactly which lead we're referring to. And click out of that, and that's all that we need to configure. Down at the bottom, let's click on Save. Before we add the third module, make sure that you're logged into your CRM. Now, I happen to be using Pipedrive, but you can use just about any CRM you prefer. You'll need to add what's called a custom field to track the Facebook lead ID inside your CRM. Right here, you can see that I've already created that custom field. Every CRM will look just a little bit different. So if you need help, just search for how to add a custom field in your specific CRM and then add a new one for Facebook Leads ID. Then let's go back into Make. Finally, we're going to add a third module, and this one will connect to your CRM. Click on this plus icon and down at the bottom, search for your CRM. Again, I'm using Pipedrive, and search for the scenario to create a new deal. I'll click on this option right here. This takes the lead info from Facebook and it feeds it directly into your CRM. That's where your sales team can follow up and track progress as leads move through the pipeline. Here, we're taking the information we get from Facebook and using it to populate a new deal in your CRM. As an example, let's click into the title field, and here you see all the data that we get back from Facebook, and we can now feed that in to the different fields in Pipedrive. Here, let's say I want the full name of the customer. Let's add a space, maybe the company name, and let's call out that this is a Facebook wholesale lead. Now you could go through and you could populate all the different fields for a new deal using different values from Facebook. One important step, make sure to reference the Facebook lead ID. If I scroll all the way down, here we see that custom field that I created in Pipedrive or whatever happens to be your CRM. I'll click into this field, and over here I see all the values that I get back from Facebook. Let's make sure to select the lead ID. Once you've done that, let's click on Save. Now that we've set up this scenario, let's test that it's working properly. Over on the left-hand side, first off, let's save this scenario. I'll click on this icon, and it looks like it's now saved. Let's also turn it on so it runs immediately as data arrives. Right up on top, I'll set to immediate, and then click on Save. Then, down in the bottom left-hand corner, we can set it to run once. Let's click there. To test that data flows from Facebook to your CRM, head to the following tool. This is provided by Meta. Right up on top, choose your page. I'll select Kevin Stratvert and then choose the form. Right over here, I'll select the KCC wholesale lead form. Make sure that this is the same form that you selected within Make and the form that you're planning on using as part of your ad campaign. And then down below, let's click on Create Lead. And right here, it looks like a test lead has been sent. Let's now go into your CRM to see if it's successfully created a lead. And look at that. Here I can see a new deal in Pipedrive, which confirms that leads are flowing correctly from Facebook into my CRM. Next, as we update the stage status of a deal, we want to send that information back to Facebook. To do that, we'll set up another scenario in Make to capture those updates and feed them into the Facebook Conversions API. That way, Facebook can optimize based on these status changes. For example, if a lead reaches let's say all the way over to the deal signed stage, we're telling Facebook, hey, we want more customers just like this one. Before we do that, we need to set up a scenario that maps the Pipedrive stage ID to friendly stage names. For example, here we see the stage name filled out form, but Pipedrive will send back an ID, like let's say number 5 to Make. We need to map that ID to the correct stage names so it's more readable. We're going to take care of that first. This way, when we send updates back to Facebook, the data is clear, accurate, and easy to understand. Let's jump back into Make. Back within Make, we're going to add a new scenario. Over on the left-hand side, click into Scenarios, and then in the top right-hand corner, let's click on Create a New Scenario. Right down below here, I'll search for Pipedrive, and right over here, I'll select List Stages. This will give me all the stage IDs along with their corresponding stage names, which we'll use to create our mapping. Now right down here, I'll select the pipeline, and then I only have 4 different stages, so a limit of 10 is fine. Then down below, I'll click on Save. Down at the very bottom, I'll save this flow, and then let's click on Run Once. This now shows me the output from this module. Over here, I can see the stage ID. So stage ID number 5 corresponds with a user filling out a form. If I go down a little bit more, stage ID 6 corresponds to our sales team reaching out and sending a sample. And as I go down, I can see all the mapping between the stage IDs and the different stage names. Make note of all of these different IDs and all of these different names, and we'll use conditional logic in the next step to make sure that we're passing back the correct stage name. Right over here, I'll close out of this view, and on the left-hand side, let's click back into Scenarios. Back in Scenarios, we're now going to set up a flow that sends stage updates from your CRM back to Facebook. In the top right-hand corner, let's click on Create a New Scenario to get started. First, we need to add a trigger. In this case, we want the scenario to run whenever there's a deal event in our CRM. For example, when I change the stage for one of the deals. Down below, I'll search for Pipedrive, New Deal Event. And right here, I'll click on this. Right down below, I'll click on Create a Webhook. Here, we need to establish a connection, and I've already done that. Down below, we have to select the event action. Anytime there's a stage change in Pipedrive, this counts as an update to an existing deal. So right over here, I'll select Updated, and down below, I'll click on Save. Over here, let's now click on Save again. Next, we need to add another module to send an update to the Facebook Conversions API for CRM. Over here, let's click on this plus icon to add another module. Then down below, search for Facebook Conversions API for CRM, and we want to create a lead event. Then right up above, let's click on this. First, you'll need to establish a connection with your Facebook account. I've already done that. Then down below, under Data, let's click on Add Item. Let's start with the event name. This is what we'll send to Facebook to indicate the current stage of the customer in the sales process. With Pipedrive, we only get the stage ID back, not the friendly stage name. So I'm going to paste in some simple conditional logic to map each stage ID to a readable name. Some CRMs might return the stage name directly. Over on the right-hand side, you can see all the different values that you get back from your CRM. If that's the case, you can skip this step. But if your CRM only returns the ID like Pipedrive does, you'll want to use this approach. This is just a basic if statement. For example, if the stage ID equals 5, then we'll return the friendly name filled out form to Facebook. Feel free to customize the logic based on your own stage IDs and also names. Next, we need to provide the event time. I'll click into here and I see all the different values that I get back from Pipedrive. And one of them is the stage change time. I'll select this and that inserts it into the event time. Next, we need to enter in the lead ID. This is the unique identifier that links the lead in Facebook to the lead in your CRM. It's how both systems know that they're talking about the same person. When I click into here, I see all the different values that we get back from Pipedrive. And if I scroll down, there's a value for the Facebook leads ID. And this is a custom field that we added. Let's click on that and that inserts it into the lead ID. Next, let's enter in the lead event source. It's a good idea to be specific here. So I'll enter in Pipedrive via make. That way we know exactly where the update is coming from. Down at the very bottom on this form, we need to select the data source where we want to send these events. I'll click on this, and here I'll select the data source that we created earlier in this video. I'll select that, and down at the bottom, let's click on save. Right now, we're capturing all new deal events, which means any update to a deal will trigger this flow. But we only want to track stage changes, not every single edit. To do that, let's click on this icon right here, and we're going to set up a filter to narrow it down to just stage updates. Let's click on the label and let's call it stage changed. For the condition, we'll compare the current stage ID to the previous stage ID. If those two values are different, it means that the deal moved to a new stage and we want Facebook to know. So in the condition, let's click on this. And right over here, we see the current stage ID. It's under the current grouping. Let's select this. Next, we need to select the text operator. We want it to be not equal to. So over here, I'll select not equal to. Then for the right side of the condition, we want to look at the previous stage ID. So over here, I will minimize current. And right here, I see a category with all of the previous values and there's stage ID. Let's select that. This ensures that only stage changes trigger the rest of the flow. That way we keep things clean and focused. Now that we've configured the filter, let's click on save. Let's now save this flow. Down below, let's click on the save icon. We also want this to run immediately as new data arrives. Let's toggle this on and then click on save. Lastly, we can now test this to confirm that it's working properly. Right down here, let's click on run once. Within Pipedrive, let's take a deal and let's move it forward to negotiation. Next, let's go to Facebook to confirm that it shows up as an event. Within the Facebook Event Manager, I'll click into my data source, and right down below, I can see that this event has flowed through just as I expected to. Here it says negotiation. Now that we've confirmed data is flowing from our CRM back to Facebook, let's set up the sales funnel. Right up on top, let's click on settings. As a quick note, you'll need at least 7 days of historical data sent to Facebook before this option becomes available. Right here, let's click on Modify Sales Funnel. On this screen, you'll see all of your different funnel stages. Here, you can configure which stages are considered positive stages, and over here, which stages you would like to ignore or exclude from optimization. Ideally, you should arrange all of these stages in the same order they appear in your CRM for consistency. Down below, let's click on Next. On this page, we can tell Facebook which stages to optimize for. In my case, negotiation and also deal signed are strong indicators of success, so I'll make sure that both of these are checked. Once your positive stages are defined, in the bottom right-hand corner, go ahead and click on Finish. Now that we've configured the sales funnel, let's go back and turn on the switch so Facebook optimizes based on conversion leads. On the left-hand side, let's click into Campaigns. Within Campaigns, let's click into the ad set and then select your ad set and click on Edit. On this page, scroll down until you find a category called Performance Goal. Currently, it's set to maximize the number of leads. However, we want to switch this to maximize the number of conversion leads. Select this and then save. Once you do that, Facebook will use our CRM pixel or the data source to optimize for higher quality results. And that's it. And now you know how to connect your Facebook lead ads to your CRM using Make. And now you can optimize for real conversions, not just form fills. By automatically sending lead status updates to Facebook, you'll help the algorithm find the highest quality leads, getting you the best return on your ad spend. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.